Baba Chi-Chi's Big Adventure.
Baba Chi-Chi.
You got it. And today, we're taking a deep dive into Episode 8, where our enigmatic host visits the old city Chiang Mai Wall. I'm really curious to get your take on this one, especially how the episode seems to blend, well, actual historical information with, pure entertainment. Not always an easy feat.
You're right. It's a tough balance to strike. You don't want to bore the kids, but you also don't want to sacrifice accuracy.
Exactly. And this is where I think Baba Chi-Chi's Big Adventure gets interesting. For example, there's this part where Baba Chi-Chi needs backup from a character named, get this, Sprite, to explain the wall. Who thinks of this stuff?
Well, it definitely piques your interest, doesn't it? And, using humor and these kind of, I don't know what you'd call them, like sidekicks, I guess, it can really make history come alive, especially for younger viewers.
Absolutely. I mean, think back to when you were a kid. What made you actually want to learn something?
Honestly, it was often the teachers who weren't afraid to be a little silly, the ones who made it fun.
Totally. Okay, but silliness aside, this episode does seem to cover some real ground when it comes to the old city Chiang Mai Wall. The description mentions its age, purpose, all that jazz. So before we go full Baba Chi-Chi, what's the deal with this wall? Why should people care?
Well, we're talking about a structure that's been standing for centuries, witnessing everything from Burmese invasions to the rise and fall of dynasties. These walls were built around the 13th century, and not just to keep people out, but as a symbol of Chiang Mai's power. It's like a physical manifestation of their identity.
Wow. So more than just a pile of bricks then?
Exactly. Each stone has a story to tell,
That's incredible. And I love how the episode uses the wall as a jumping off point to explore Chiang Mai in general. What can you tell us about the city itself?
Chiang Mai is fascinating. It's like a time capsule where ancient temples sit alongside bustling night markets. You've got these incredible temples with murals that are centuries old, whispering stories of forgotten rituals and ancient kingdoms. And just outside, the air is thick with the smell of street food.
Sounds like an assault on the senses in the best possible way. Okay, so we've talked about the wall, Chiang Mai, but we can't wrap this up without addressing the elephant, or rather the Baba Chi-Chi, in the room. Any thoughts on the name itself? Is it like a cultural reference, a play on words?
Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. Without more context from the creators, it's hard to say, but that air of mystery, it just adds to the intrigue, right? It makes you want to watch and find out more.
That's a great point. It's like the name itself becomes this little puzzle. It's brilliant, really.
It is. It reminds us that learning doesn't have to be dry and boring. It can be playful, it can be surprising.
And who knows, maybe a little bit weird.
Exactly. Embrace the weird.
Well said. So any final thoughts for our listeners before we let them go explore the wacky world of Baba Chi-Chi?
I'd say don't underestimate the power of a good story. Baba Chi-Chi's Big Adventure is proof that you can learn something new, even while laughing at the antics of, a talking Baba Chi-Chi.
Seriously. So to our listeners, if you're tired of the same old travel shows, give Baba Chi-Chi's Big Adventure a shot. You just might discover a whole new way to explore the world. And hey, if you have any theories on what Baba Chi-Chi actually is, let us know. Until next time, happy travels.